Well, there is a transfer dilemma of Ivan Toney to Arsenal that we are going to address today. Timo Werner breaking silence onto his joining Tottenham Hotspur, and Jordan Spence coming out and obviously speaking out and his transfer to Italy. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys, and where are you watching us from? I go by the names of Rokani David. Smash the like button, comment and share. If you're only watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And we are here to obviously bring you some huge transfer news that is going to happen today, and some stories with evidence that most of you really want to know. I have some people in my WhatsApp group that are going to ask me about the latest transfer news at Arsenal. I decided to obviously come up with this Ivan Toney story. And remember, this is the second video of the day, 10th of January 2024. So we thank God for the gift of life. The Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum, and for the Christians, we cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Now, let's obviously start with this story that I saw yesterday coming in from Sky Sports, and I said, oh, is it really right? Because we've always gone ahead to be having stories that Ivan Toney is dying to join Arsenal. And if at all Arsenal knocks on the door, Ivan Toney will be willing to obviously get going and follow the path to London or to North London. Now, Sky Sports told us yesterday that Ivan Toney says he wants to repay Brentford by getting them out of the relegation battle during the second half of the season, after the support the club showed him during his 8-month ban from football. Now, this is very important. This is very important. And how is it very important? Ivan Toney knows that there are 4 points off the relegation position. What do I mean? The relegation zone starts from the 18th position, 19th, and 20th. And as we speak, I think they're like 3 positions ahead of the relegation teams. But the 18th place team is having 15 points. Brentford, that Ivan Toney has not been playing for the last 8 months, is having how many points? They're having 19. So he's returning on the 18th, and he wants to obviously play for Brentford to see to it that Brentford really gets where they deserve to be. And that is Ivan Toney for you, and he keeps going and going and going and going and going and going and going. So at this juncture, Ivan Toney is in dilemma because he wants to join Arsenal, and it might be one of the chances that comes once in a lifetime career. And you've seen it to Arsenal that they don't look back. They don't look back. They strike once. If at all you obviously make a deal hard for them to happen, they don't come back for you. You saw it with Vlahovic. You saw it with Yuri Tielemans. You saw it with James Maddison. You've seen it with very many players that Arsenal have tried to sign, and they've gone ahead not to obviously get to where they deserve to be. Arsenal has gone ahead to obviously shun them and really go in for players that really want to play for them. I think that is the situation that Ivan Toney is going to be in also, because he will weigh out all the situations, especially if at all Arsenal shows interest, because this has been confirmed by Fabrizio Romano that Arsenal are of interest of Ivan Toney, but they're not having enough money that Brentford really wants, and it might act as a very huge blocking factor for this deal to happen, as you really find it. So when you look at Ivan Toney, 27 years of age, he hasn't kicked a ball this season, and he is really one of those players that is really showing a lot of interest to join Arsenal. But Brentford have been there for him in the last months, ever since he was banned, and he's set to return as Brentford play against let me see, Brentford, which team are they gonna play against? They're gonna play against Wolverhampton Wanderers, I think. For the FA tie is not gonna be available because his ban ends on the 18th. But Brentford are gonna host Nottingham Forest on the 20th of January, and I think that's the game that's gonna see Ivan Toney play for this team again, and it's all about him to come in through and really do the needful and put his action inwards. Jacob's been one of the most trusted journalists, as far as the transfers are really concerned, has come out and told us that Toney has also said on record he feels he owes Brentford for their support during his ban for gambling breaches, so it's more likely at this stage he stays at Brentford in January. So Jacob's Ben is confirming with us that this Galad might stay at Brentford in January, and it's all about loyalty because Brentford never went in for a centre forward. Sorry about that. Brentford never went in for centre forward during the summer transfer window because they knew to eat that they would really persist through the first 6 months of the season and then welcome back Ivan Toney. That is it. Because they know if at all is available, Brentford is going to win some more games. We've all seen it that Brentford have been lacking a striker. Not so? Brentford has been lacking a striker, and Ivan Toney is back to come with the bank to obviously save the club. And I think if at all they were in like the top half of the table, it would have been easy for him to make a decision to leave them. But he's not going to leave them because he believes if at all he leaves, they might get relegated. They might get relegated. That is Brentford for you, because they are missing out on a number 9, and he wants to see to it that everything really goes on as to plan, because Brentford are the team that's going to have to give him this name, and maybe even if Arsenal doesn't sign him, maybe another team will come in through in this summer transfer window to obviously sign him, because in the summer he would love to leave the club of Brentford. But how many other teams are really in need of strikers? Man United, an experienced striker is needed. Spurs, who else? So I think those are the top 2 teams that will be in need of a striker. Even Arsenal. But if Arsenal really goes ahead to try to sign Ivan Toney and he says no, I'm staying at Brentford for the 6 months, I think that will be over in between them and Arsenal. So he also added, that is Jacob's Ben, that a new Toney contract at Brentford also can be ruled out, but the challenge is matching his desired wage. But Brentford don't feel in any rush, and although it's true, Toney is starting to plan for his next move. Free agency in 2025 is not impossible either. So I think it's gonna be hard for this guy not to get a team in the summer. That is it. In the summer, let's all agree that Ivan Toney is not gonna be a player. Sorry about that. Let's all agree that in the summer, Ivan Toney is not gonna be a player of Brentford. For the next 6 months, he might be, depending on Arsenal's desire. If Arsenal knock on the door with a lot of force, especially by offering a player like Eddie Nketiah there, trust me, Brentford will take it with some money. They will, because they'll know that at least we're having a striker that can help us poach for goals at the Brentford level. And Brentford doesn't have pressure that a team like Arsenal gives Eddie Nketiah. And I think Eddie Nketiah can come in through to score like 20 goals at Brentford, because he'll be the alpha and omega as far as leading the focal point is really concerned. So signing a new contract at Brentford, I don't see it happening, because he knows that he would have gone ahead to tie himself there. If a team is calling in for £100 million when a player is left with just 18 months on his contract, then how much will they really put up him for sale if at all he adds on 2 or 3 more years on his contract? You get? Unless otherwise there is an option of a buyout clause, and the moment you put in a buyout clause, that reduces the price of the player, because his agent will negotiate for a price teams that are interested in Ivan Toney will be willing to match. So that is the hugest hinge that these two are really having as a team and a player. But wait and see how this is going to unfold, because you can't really rule out anything. I told you in this transfer window everything is possible. There is a defender that is going to be a Tottenham Hotspur defender that has just gone ahead to travel right now, but Bayern Munich had gone ahead to obviously try to hijack the deal. So anything is possible, and we wait and see how everything is gonna pan out down there. So the other guy we are talking about, because the Ivan Toney story is done, you've gone ahead to see all that dilemma, new contract. Ivan Toney wants a lot of money for them to pay, like £200,000 a week. Can they handle it? They can't. That means there is another player. Sorry, there is another team that can obviously offer him that. So dilemma is really huge. Now, let's leave that and let's go to London again as we talk about Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur have come out and obviously unveiled the guy known as Timo Werner. And Timo Werner had the following to say. And I really feel like I had to obviously drop something in here for you to note that this guy's gonna hate to put up a very smart talk. He said, I've joined a big club. I'm here at Tottenham Hotspur to win titles. And Postecoglou calls to Werner. Werner said, yes, the manager straight away gave me the feeling that I needed to join the club, and the way the team plays fits me perfectly. That is Timo Werner for you, and let me show you him holding that Tottenham Hotspur jersey. As I told you that his medical was scheduled, done and dusted, and that is Timo Werner for you. He comes in through at Tottenham Hotspur. He can play as a number 9, he can play as a left wide forward and a right wide forward, so he can also play behind the number 10, behind the number 9 of the team. Very huge transfer for the side of Tottenham Hotspur, and they're here to obviously see themselves really getting where they deserve to be. Now, on joining the club, he had the following to say. First of all, I'm very happy to be here. I've joined a very, very big club. We have often played against each other already. It doesn't matter if I was playing for Chelsea or Leipzig. They are always big games to play against Spurs. So he's that kind of player who is eager to rejuvenate his career. We all know that ever since he left RB Leipzig, you know, in 2020, that is the summer of 2020, he hasn't been the same again. At Chelsea, he was a flop. His return to RB Leipzig has been really bad, and this player has gone ahead to obviously get a loan with an option to buy that is not mandatory. And remember, the buyout clause for him in that contract is 17 million euros. If they decide to make it permanent, then they'll have to pay 17 million euros to RB Leipzig, meaning that RB Leipzig don't really see him as a person in their plans as this team really goes forward. But at Spurs, he comes in through in a very trying moment. The trying moment is all about him proving himself before Son Heung-min returns, because he's coming in through to obviously play in that Son Heung-min position before Son Heung-min returns from the Asian Cup. Has close to 3 or 4 games to prove himself, or 5, and wish him the best of luck. And the next video, I'm going to be bringing you more words that this guy's going to hate to say about Tottenham Hotspur and why he's going to hate to join the club of Tottenham Hotspur. Then we go to an exclusive coming in through from Fabrizio Romano. He's another Spurs player I've been talking about here regularly, that he has returned from Leeds and his loan was terminated, and he was at Tottenham Hotspur. Finally, he has gotten where to go, and it's exclusive. Spence will join Genoa on loan deal from Spurs, but it will include buy option clause. Understand it's not mandatory, and it will be in the region of 10 million euros. Up to Genoa in June, Tottenham Hotspur will pay Spence's full salary as part of the Dragusin deal. So Dragusin is the guy I've been talking about, that he has gone ahead to join Tottenham Hotspur. He's flying to London and everything is going on well. Now, for Spence, I love the guy. You all know that. If there is a right back that I really enjoyed, that I would love it, that I even loved my club to sign in 2022, the summer, he was that guy. When he was playing for Nottingham Forest in the Championship, as he was loaned from Middlesbrough, he really looked elite. He looked like a promising player. He came into Tottenham Hotspur, £25 million, and things have not gone ahead to go on well. Antonio Conte didn't want to use him. The same applies to Ange Postecoglou, was not convinced, because Pedro Porro was there and Emerson Royal was there. So he was not given a chance. And I think it's a good time for him to go down in Italy to really try to rebuild his career there and get things going. So that's what I had for you here onto the Rokani Media Football. Tell me thoughts about Ivan Toney to Arsenal transfer dilemma. You know, what do you make about it? Do you think Ivan Toney can leave the side of Arsenal? Sorry, can leave the side of Brentford for Arsenal to let them suffer in their relegation? All that and more into the comment section below. And what do you make about Spence leaving to Genoa? loan with an option to buy, and Timo Werner speaking out on playing for Tottenham Hotspur. Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum. The Christians, we cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ, and may the living God bless you abundantly. Ciao, ciao.